Overcoming fear and why it matters. I want to talk about this topic because so many of us get trapped in a place of fear, and sometimes it even becomes subconscious because we've lived in a place of fear for so long. Before I really get into the topic, I'm going to quickly explain the most practical way I've seen fear overcome in my own life. When I was a kid, I was standing in line for a ride at Legoland in San Diego with my family, and I remember freaking out in this moment because I had never been on a roller coaster before, and that's what I happened to be in line for. So as I'm kind of getting closer and closer to the end, everything in me is like, turn around, Alex, this isn't going to be worth it. Don't go on this ride. But my little brother happened to be next to me, and he seemed perfectly fine. So being the older brother, I had to keep my cool. I had to stay in line. And I can remember getting closer and closer when I finally got strapped in. Just that moment was like a total freak out. I didn't let anyone see it. And I was like, I'm here. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. It's gonna be the scariest thing ever. I'm never going on another ride like this again. I was freaking out. I was like really overcome by fear in that moment. Of course, like when roller coasters start to climb, that feeling is always there. You're like, oh my gosh, this is the scariest thing ever. But the second you hit that drop, you realize the feeling of freedom that you've been missing and pure enjoyment. Now, some people apparently don't have that same reaction. They get off the ride and throw up or something like that. That wasn't me. I found a newfound love and passion for roller coasters. I was really excited about as a kid. And ever since that time, I never looked at theme parks the same again. Because I used to go to theme parks and I'd kind of sit those rides out, just wait on the side. I'd kind of like sit there for 30, 40 minutes while my family was in line, or certain members of my family were in line, the rest of us kind of waited. So I never really enjoyed theme parks, but now that I've been on this roller coaster, I overcame that fear. I then had this new enjoyment and new appreciation for what theme parks had to offer, and I was looking forward to going to the next one. Now again, that's a very practical example I just gave you, but that's what overcoming fear is. Many times, it's simply something that scares us because it's unknown or new to us. And because of that, we don't want to get into it. On the other side, it's also something that other people have told us is it's scary, it's going to hurt you, it's going to bring you back, it's going to take you to a place you don't want to go. We've heard all these things, but when we've not experienced it for ourselves, we don't really know what it's going to bring into our lives. So whatever fear you may be bound up by, whatever may be holding you back, just know that it's keeping you from a place of freedom that God may have for you. God says in His Word that He's giving us a spirit of life. He's giving us a spirit of confidence, not a spirit of fear. So we have to be able to overcome this feeling, this emotion of fear, which in many cases is fake. It's something that we just don't know. And fear just means unknown, or it's something we haven't experienced before. And when we haven't experienced it, we don't know what's actually going to happen. So I want to challenge you, whatever the fear is in your life right now, think of the things that you're afraid of in your life. Maybe it's a hurt from your past. Maybe it's something that people have told you. Maybe it's just something that's really new or unknown to you. Maybe you're even scared of succeeding in life because you don't know what it's going to bring or if you're prepared enough for that. Whatever it may be, it's time to take that step. And I believe that that's what God has for each and every one of us. Some of us have been sitting in a relationship for too long that is unhealthy, but we're scared to get out of it because we don't know what's going to happen. Or we've been sitting in a job for too long because we're afraid of how we're going to pay the bills or what's going to be next for us. There's so many different things. It could be a million other things I haven't even mentioned. But the truth is, God wants us to not live by fear. He wants us to live by faith. Our job is to trust Him and believe that He has better for us. Something that I love to talk about and think about in my own life is that God has our best interest in mind. Think about that. Remember that. God has your best interest in mind. What that means is He wants you to succeed in life. He wants you to do well. But when we get bound up by fear, which in many cases is the devil in our lives, we don't move anywhere, and God's not going to be able to bless us if we get stuck. So I want to challenge you, step out in faith today like you never have before, overcome fear in a way that you never have before, and I believe that God's going to open new things for you in your life, and I'm looking forward to seeing that in my life. Anytime I've overcome fear, God has blessed me, so I'm believing the same thing for you today. So I want to challenge you, overcome that fear that's been holding you back, and I believe you're going to see a whole new area in your relationship with God and in your life.